This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Monday, first Monday in February 3. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for jumping in and joining us on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You guys are checking us out on the Bama Central YouTube channel. You're watching us on my own Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Joe Gaither 6, or you're my favorite and you're listening to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. We love you the most. Those are our favorite listeners because they're the ones who actually subscribe, rate, and review the show. So they get a little priority right here. But we're excited on a Monday. Alabama basketball with a huge, emphatic victory over the Georgia Bulldogs. Sorry, Mom and Dad. And then we got a little football news. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was quite the day.
What a weekend it was in Tuscaloosa. Okay, you win big over the Georgia Bulldogs. Then Sunday, everybody's relaxing. It's about to be, 5:30 or so, close to time to have a little dinner and wrap up the night. And Ryan Grubb gets hired. Everybody's wondering what's happening to Nick Sheridan. We'll talk about that. And now Scott Huff, this morning, Monday morning, has been relieved of his duties with the Seattle Seahawks. So will we get the entire band back together? Chris Kapilovich, are you about to be looking for a job, or is this Scott Huff's, you don't fit in? We'll talk about all that and more on the Joe Gaither Show, and we'll finish it up with a little Royal Rumble because it was an amazing Saturday night at the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. But we'll save that to the very, very end for those who are not wrestling fans. As always, we're live in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios right here off of McFarland Boulevard. You can find us just past the Tiger Rock on the left. Call Derek and his team at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Home, life, auto insurance, boaters insurance. Oh, my gosh. It would be a great day to be out on the lake today. The weather, first Monday in February, beautiful. So make sure your boaters insurance is up to date. 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. And we're here with my friend Mason Woods, who worked his tail off. He had to endure, what was it? National Immigrants Don't Go to Work Day today. He was at Home Depot working his tail off. Yeah. And we're very, very happy to have him on the second part of the day. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing good. Did not seem like many people in the 205 area code got the memo on that one.
Okay, just checking.
It was just a pretty normal day as always. Seemed like at least, busy day at the Home Depot. Long Monday, glad to be here on the show and just get to sit down and just talk about some stuff for a while and not have to pick up heavy things and, lock in bolts here and there and pinch my fingers constantly.
2x4s here, Oh yeah. Not
you see. I'm very, very visibly super busy right now. Yes, I can answer your question, customer. Of course. Yeah, that's my favorite part of the day.
Are they calling you over to custom cut lumber?
I have gotten that question many a times. I'm technically certified to do it, but no one has to know that.
Okay. Are you the key man? I'm going to remake the keys.
No, that I refuse to learn because there's 25 people a day that come in at least. I need a key, and they just stand there. And it's like, okay, there's 45 people within walking distance of you that are wearing bright orange that you could walk up to and politely ask. But no, people like to just walk over there and just yell, I need a key. I need a key. And it's like, are we toddlers?
There's a bell. I need a key. The last time I had keys made was a pretty smooth. Sorry, I went to Lowe's. But
I would have gone to Lowe's too.
What did you make on Saturday? Okay, my Saturday, let's start with the basketball game. The last time we talked was Friday. We were leading into Royal Rumble, previewing Alabama basketball, and I really was not that worried about this Georgia game because I think that Georgia is fairly overrated, and Alabama handled their business 90-69, really, really getting it done on the defensive side of the floor, holding Georgia under 1 point per possession, 0.908. Their second half was their second half was 1.17. First half was 0.73. So really, really good in the first half defensively for Alabama. Crimson Tide Rollers I'm just going to open it up to Mason because, look, I was, full disclosure, watching the Vanderbilt game, watching Vanderbilt in Oklahoma, part of one of my new gigs. We are covering Vanderbilt for Vanderbilt on SI. So that was my Saturday. I recorded the Alabama-Georgia game. We watched it yesterday, but Mason watched it live. So, Mason, well, I just want you to open us up here. What do we think about the basketball game? Some of your takeaways, some of your thoughts about what happened in Coleman Coliseum?
Obviously, fantastic performance. They exceeded even. I thought it was going to be a good win, but they exceeded even my expectations. They played really, really great on both ends of the floor. But I mean, my biggest takeaway, the thing I'm most excited to talk about, Aiden Sherrill is finally here, and he finally looks pretty comfortable on the floor. I mean, he came out. What was he? He was 2 for 3 from 3-point land, I think. 3 for 5 from the floor. Made all his free throws. Plays for 20 minutes. I really was very, very happy getting to see him get as many minutes as he did and look as comfortable as he did out there. This was the first time we've seen the shot start to fall a little bit, and I think you could visibly see when the one hit, it was like, okay, and then the second one, it really lit him up a little bit, I think, and I hopefully that means a lot of good for the remainder of the season.
Really important to have a performance like that because of Cliff gets into 2 early fouls, and you heard Coach Oates after the game say, "Oh, I don't care about playing guys with 2 fouls in the first half. That's fine." But the fact that Aiden was playing so well, I just decided to let's leave Cliff on the bench and see what's going to happen.
He was great. 7 boards.
Think about where we were in November when he first started playing. And he looked really.
He looked like a baby deer.
Lost.
It was just, I'm not. I don't quite realize how big I am. I don't really have full control out to all my fingertips and my toes. I'm just kind of lumbering around. And you saw it in spurts. He'd make a nice play. He'd get he'd fight somebody for a rebound, a really tough offensive board or something. But he just couldn't consistently string it together. And yeah, it finally came together last night or against Georgia on Saturday.
So you end up with 12 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, a block and a steal in 20 minutes for Aiden Sherrill. And I do think that that's probably your biggest story of the game because we talked about how deep this team is all year long. And
I mean, would you say this is the first time you've really felt that depth all season?
Yes. I mean,
all year it's been.
Yes, because
we got only Cliff.
Right, exactly. Because once you take Cliff out of the position at the 5, you are asking either Aiden to be uncomfortable out there, or you were asking Grant to play in a position that's not real. I mean, he did it fine last year in some spurts, but that's not where he's going to be. Mm-hmm. That's not his most ideal position. Same with Jaren Stevenson, not their most ideal position. They can do it. I think it's and Mo D as well. So everybody else behind Cliff was a little bit of a square peg round hole situation, and I think that Aiden Sherrill could really end up being a Bediako type. Even stretch the. I mean, Bediako couldn't shoot like that, but. The comfort, it allows you to really say, all right, your number 2-5 man is Aiden Sherrill, and he can end up, if we need him to play 20 minutes because Cliff Amore can't control his hands and, or is, out of position with his feet and gets into foul trouble, whatever the case may be, you can go with that and you don't have to compromise what you're doing at the 4. You don't have to compromise, Grant gets kicked over, and so now who's the backup 4? Okay, so Jaren gets kicked down, and now you're playing Chris at the 3, and now everything is – I mean, the depth is there, and all these combinations can work. But when you're thinking about what's most ideal, it's Aiden playing the 5, so being the second man up at the 5 and letting Grant just say, hey, you're the 4 man. We'll put you at the 5 when we want to, not when we have to.
Yeah.
When we want to play small and really stretch out and go fast, that's what we'll do. Not, shoot, Cliff's in foul trouble. We got to put somebody in. What do we do? I think and really what I'm thinking about right now, Mason, is next Saturday. If you're not already there yet, because you live your days one day at a time like I do, next Saturday, the Auburn Tigers are coming into Coleman Coliseum.
Sherrill, Janai Broom, the young bull and the old buck.
Well, it's that. They've got who? It's Chennai Broom, it's Chad Baker Mazzara, and they've got
Doug
another
Cardwell's just
Cardwell.
ferocious on the inside.
Cardwell's the other forward. I was really before Saturday's performance worried about playing Auburn in the sense where, oh, they're going to beat you up inside. They're going to get after you on the inside, and Cliff has been a little suspect, and your interior defense hasn't been as good. And I thought to myself, well, you can beat Auburn if you shoot 40% from the three-point line,
Sure.
45% from the three-point line, whatever your really good number is in your brain for three-point percentage, they're going to have to hit that. This gives you a little bit more of a chance to, okay, what if you play 38% from the three-point line, 33% from the three-point line? I think he gives you a little bit of a fighting chance against Auburn on the inside because they're going to eat you up as far as fouls go, and it's going to be a rebounding war.
Mm-hmm.
I'm highly concerned about that game. Don't feel good about it from an Alabama standpoint, just from the simple fact that it's a lot easier to bang in, a bunch of layups than hit 3-pointers. And Janai has been he's an unstoppable force on the inside for college basketball. I mean, he should be in the NBA. Period. He should be in the NBA. He came back. He made a good decision for himself, and he is the 1, 2, 3 best player in college basketball. Depends on who you like. You're the best. Sure. Cooper Flagg, if you like him, but he's a load. But so to your point, Aiden Sherrill, the performance on Saturday gives me a lot of hope for what the next month and a half will be.
It puts the rest of the season in a completely different lens. Because it was such a just kind of point of contention with this team of you can't really rely on what you're going to get out of the 5 spot. And I like Cliff. And, Cliff had a fine game against Georgia. I mean, he got 11 rebounds, 4 offensive boards. So, he didn't play bad against Georgia. But, like you said, just got in foul trouble a little bit. Was just, kind of doing his typical thing on a few possessions where it looked like he was a little bit out of position. Having Sherrill be able to finally feel comfortable out there playing that role opens everything up so much where everybody can play the role that they feel most comfortable in. Like you said, you don't have to fit a square peg into a round hole with anything. It's just, we said the ceiling was very high for this team, but now it's even higher with Sherrill playing well.
My favorite number on this stat broadcast, as I'm looking here, 83% from the free throw line, 19 of 23. I mean, you're nitpicking, but that's what you're doing when you're talking about a number 3 team in the country. To see some of these improvements.
Would like to see them get after the offensive glass a little more.
Yeah, 9 offensive rebounds. You dominated them. 52 to 36 on the boards. I'm just more encouraged than I was 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And you heard Coach Oates after the game, we got to get down the turnover problem. 20 bleeping turnovers, 20 turnovers again. The last time I didn't
even realize
12 in the first half, 8 in the second. And of those 12, who was it? It was Mark with 5.
Oh, yeah.
Mark with 5, and then 1 in the second half for him. So it really did calm down. Youngblood with 3 turnovers in the first half, and how many did he have? None in the second.
Is this more of Mark Sears still trying to force it a little bit?
Maybe a little.
Knowing they're playing a semi-inferior opponent. Someone that isn't on the same level as an Auburn or a, Kentucky.
Maybe a little, but this is...
Big Kentucky. Ooh, took it on the chin from Cal this weekend.
You should be so embarrassed.
Oh, man.
You should be so embarrassed.
That's
if you're Mark...
Sorry for wrenching the thing.
No,
there.
I know, but I like what I've seen from Mark Pope in these last 6 months or whatever.
Yeah. I think Kentucky fans should like what they've seen from him, but that...
What a disaster. Do you think they were just too hyped up? They were just too built up?
I think so. It was just too much.
I'd be so angry. And Coach Cal, I don't know that he's going to care about winning another game this year.
You're probably right.
I mean, of course, he's going to try, but
that was his Super Bowl. His season is a victory for him. That's a personal win for him.
That's unbelievable that Kentucky allowed that to happen. I could not.
I saw far too many people. I think you even tweeted about it because Rick Pitino did like a video talking about don't boo Coach Cal. Yes, boo that man. He abandoned you to go to Arkansas. Boo that man.
Well,
You can have your in 10 years when he comes back to like that's when you can have your thank you Coach Cal for the one championship. Thank you so much. Boo that man. If Nate Oates left and went to go. Say Nate Oates takes Alabama to a championship this year. You get 1 or 2 more seasons of middling play, whatever, and then he bounces for Florida. I am booing that man the second he walks into Coleman Coliseum.
Sure, I would be as well. I just don't know that you used the word he abandoned them. I think Kentucky and Coach Calipari were breaking up.
Mutual.
And I don't have any they should be booing him. You're an opposing coach. But my issue was Rick Pitino. You haven't coached at Kentucky in 27 years. So that's like who? That's like Mike Shula going onto social media and being like, Alabama fans, when you whatever you want to like, who are you to tell Kentucky fans anything? You're coaching for St. John. Like you're not retired. If you're retired, I might get it.
Sure.
But like you are an active coach for the St. John's Red Storm. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're in the top 25 this year right now, doing well. What are you doing? Like lecturing an opposing fan base of, well, the worst day of my life was when I walked into Rupp Arena as an opposing coach, and it broke my heart when you booed me. Give me a break. Drives me like
very, very strange.
That drove me nuts.
Yeah, no. Embarrassing for you, Kentucky. You should be embarrassed for that. You let Arkansas come into your house and whoop up on you like that. That was hooey.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that's probably the worst loss of any. That's probably the worst loss in the SEC right now. It has to be.
That, or is it Kentucky losing to Georgia?
I mean, we've talked about Georgia's at least feisty. I mean, Arkansas was 1-6 coming into this game. 1-6 in the league, obviously. They've won.
Yeah. You think Cal was just like, we're scheming these 6 weeks. These 6 weeks, we're scheming for Kentucky up on the road.
One day a week throughout the whole season. It's been Kentucky Day. And we're going to install a new play. We're going to install something new today. New concept. We're going to introduce something. It's been just waiting.
Sorry, I just got caught up on a tweet that I saw making fun of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, he was on a show. He was on Pat McAfee today talking about getting booed. And he was like, oh, I expected it because the last time I was in L.A., I was a bad guy as well. I was playing a bad. That's not why they were booing you, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. You're totally in on the joke.
Right. Okay, so Alabama, you win.
Impressive victory.
Sears gets his 20. Nelson was 16. Everybody, all the scholarship guys play. You shoot a ridiculous 53% from the floor, 42% from the three-point line. I mean, outside of the turnovers, it's a perfect day. Outside of the 20 turnovers, what's our number, 12 or fewer? You cut that down by 8, and you give me 8 shots. Well, that's on the percentage at 53%. That's 4 made buckets. That's 8 points, 8 to 12 points, right? What's 4 times 3 is 12, 8 to 12 points. And that puts us at 98 or 102. And bam, you have felt so much better about yourself. I mean, you should feel good anyways, sure. But I think when you see that 100 mark cleared, you feel even better. Well, my favorite thing is you take an 11-point lead into halftime. And yeah, you heard Coach Oates after the game talk about the first couple of minutes of the second half were not really that great. But you didn't really let up on them. You ended up beating most of the times we've seen second halves where, Alabama won the second half by 1 point, or the opposing team won the second half by 3 points because Alabama just kind of willy-nilly through the second half. Didn't do that on Saturday. Took the opponent seriously. Cleaned up the turnover issue a little bit in the second half.
Yeah.
And stayed diligent on the defensive side of the floor mostly. I mean, you did give up 41 as opposed to 28 in the first half, but I think largely played faster as well. And it ended up being a good day, good game. And now you have 6 days off. 6 days off until the next game. How important, Mason Woods, are these 6 days off for the Crimson Tide?
Man, obviously very important. It's so interesting to think about how you would handle it, if you were Nate Oates here, because, obviously you're going to have maybe one off day baked in probably.
Yeah, probably today.
Yeah, I would think maybe today. But I think that is very, very crucial for just like a team morale kind of deal, just to let everyone kind of, you get off days are like so huge. Just to have a day where they don't have to think about everything, a day where they can go do whatever they want, a day where they can, if they need to, go do any kind of therapy, rehab stuff, whatever. It's very, very good this week, especially considering, you do have two guys who are a little banged up, Darian Reed and LeBaron. So, yeah, like perfect timing for this, I think.
What do you think about LeBaron and Darian kind of getting banged up? It's a long season for a freshman.
Yeah,
it's going from high school basketball to college basketball. I was going to say professional. I mean, semi-pro, sort of pro ball. They're getting paid a little bit. Just a much longer season, and I wonder.
Golly, you're basically double the games now.
From high school to college, likely. And then, I mean, those guys were high-level players. They were playing AAU and circuit, big-time circuit basketball, that sort of stuff.
That AAU basketball is very different, too, from what they're playing right now. As far as the defense and things go, it's a lot more just kind of running up and down and shooting.
I'd like to see rest mixed in with shooting as well. Just you have to stay sharp from behind the arc, and you have to keep the free throw line trending in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite to that place where everybody's great at, where we're feeling great at, trending in the right direction. I think it is an important week to, just to kind of reset. Because goodness gracious, look at these last handful. This is your reset moment. You've 9 games into an 18-game schedule or so. Arkansas, Texas, Auburn, Missouri, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn again. You're about to go into the most brutal part of your schedule. And we've looked at the schedule many, many times, and it's like, wow, this next couple games are really, really brutal. Yeah, these next 9 games, right, are extremely. I mean, at Arkansas and at Texas. We talked about Arkansas, I don't think should be on the floor with you, but going on the road in the SEC is just going on. It's going on the road.
Sure.
You got 2 road games where both teams are going to be talented enough to win if you don't play well. And then from there, it is just Sweet 16 team after Sweet 16 team after Sweet 16 team with maybe 1 or 2 Elite 8 or Final 4 teams mixed in there.
I mean, it is a painful stretch.
Oh, my gosh. Look at these standings. You're still solo second place. Half game behind the Auburn Tigers, basically 1.5 games over Missouri. That's going to change after the bye happens. But you got basically a half game over Missouri for second place.
In a pretty good spot.
Yeah. What did we say? 4 losses was going to be the max to stay in. And Auburn still hasn't lost a single game. So maybe we need to drop that to 3 losses. So who does Auburn have left to look at that? Oklahoma, Florida, at Vanderbilt. Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Ole Miss, Kentucky, A&M, and Alabama again. I think your number's probably is 3. It's no more than 3.
Yeah,
because I think
you may be. I mean, you're lucky.
Auburn and Alabama split.
Yeah. Maybe they drop to Florida
at Kentucky. Hopefully, maybe they can get that 3-point shooting going.
Maybe
at A&M. I think it's going to be really tough to catch the Auburn Tigers because I think a split is probably about as good as you can ask for with how good both these teams are. So it's going to be an important week for Alabama basketball as everybody tries to reset and close out the season strong. Wow.
Season's gone by very quickly, feels like.
Yeah, November was yesterday.
Yeah. I mean,
except for the month of January was kind of long.
Yeah. It was the playoff. The playoff dragging out made it go long, I think.
That's something. We got to address the calendar. Got to address the calendar in college football. That's another episode, but golly, that's a problem. Let's keep it going on a Monday right here in the Derry Daniel State Farm Studios. We are live with Mason Woods. You can follow us right there on the Twitter machine at Joe Gaither6 and at MA Woods_. We're here in the Derry Daniel State Farm Studios. Derek and his team are upstairs. They'd love to talk to you about all your insurance needs. Home, life, and auto insurance. They can be found at 205-758-3391. Or if you're just in the area, we are right off of McFarland Boulevard, past the Tiger Rock on the left, a little bit right by Rustic Rehab. You can find us pretty easily about a minute off of McFarland Boulevard. Derek and his team, Red, Reese, Victoria, they'd love to talk to you. All your concerns. Look, I know the economy is going to go crazy. It is going crazy. However you feel, insurance is probably on your list of things to kind of monitor. And you want to do it with the best people that you can. That's Derek Daniel right here at State Farm. Call them at 205-758-3391. They'd love to run you a fresh quote and see if they can save you some money. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Okay, that's Saturday, at least for the Alabama business on Saturday. We'll circle back to Saturday night at the end. But Sunday evening, Coach Kalen DeBoer made some big old moves. Were you surprised? Ryan Grubb gets announced as the offensive coordinator from Alabama. What do we do?
This is the first thing I wanted to address.
Please, because we're on the same page. Go.
This is a scummy way to do this. This is a bad business. We're gonna release breaking, extremely pertinent news and drop it behind a paywall. Is so dastardly and dirty and gross and icky, and I feel like I need to go take another shower after I just took one right before coming in here to do the show today. And what are we doing? What are you doing? God, I was so. To tell you, my favorite part about this is the ratio directly under it, where someone screenshotted the entire article and replied to it with it, and everyone liked that. I mean, what are we doing, people? It's just so gross to put that behind a paywall. Ew. Very, very icky. Very bad. Very, very bad on you, Alabama. I'll say I have seen an uptick in the amount of content, but this is gross.
I need to be careful because this sends me to 9 or 10.
I really, really did not like this.
This sends me to 9 or 10 or 11 because here's the deal. I understand. Look, it's a business model. You want to get people subscribing to Alabama.
Sure.
We want to. What this tells me,
we can't make.
We have no idea what we're doing.
Bingo. We have nothing else to do.
Right. We don't look at this. Because what happened at Alabama releases the news. Alabama hires new offensive coordinator behind a paywall. 20 seconds later, bing, 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 bing. Katie Wyndham, BamaCentral.com. Well done, Katie. Gets it right on our website. I think she was the first one to follow him. I really, really do. So make sure you follow Katie Wyndham at Katie Wyndham _. She is paying attention very much. And then you see Matt Zenitz, and then you see Pete Thamel, and then you see Bama whoever online and tied.
It's an hour late,
I understand. The whole goal, we want to get people subscribing to Alabama. Give them something to subscribe for. What you want an idea? Here's your one free idea. The rest of them you can come to me and hire. Literally, you can come to me and I will tell you exactly. And maybe you'll think they're all stupid. But the first thing that I would do, send some intern, follow dadgum Keelan Russell around for a day, make him wake up at 4 a.m. like he is, and follow him around for a day, and day in the life of Keelan Russell, edit it up, boom, put it behind the paywall. That's the kind of stuff that you need to be selling.
Yes.
Hey,
that New Wave podcast?
That should be behind a paywall.
Throw that on Alabama. God.
To put we're hiring, look, what usually happens for the people who aren't in the business, and that's fine. What usually happens is an email chain goes out to everyone. Communication, boom, Alabama hires so-and-so, and it is just an official press release. Alabama hires Ryan Grubb, and it goes to everyone. And then you see everyone racing to turn the press release around. The hiring of Ryan Grubb is really, really big news. but it's not unique news at all. It's not. There's nothing like if ESPN's going to report it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why? Like, of course, I understand. You've seen it with basketball lately. Yeah, Alabama's been out there. Oh, Darian Reed won't play. Darian Reed will play. LeBaron Fallon won't play.
Sure.
LeBaron Fallon will play. And I get that they are the communication. Like, obviously, it's state media. And that's fine. That's what it should be. It's state media. And like for injuries, we want to let you know that so-and-so is going to play or isn't going to play 5 minutes before the game. I think that's perfectly fine.
Whatever.
Tweet that out. Let them follow that. Like, I just was so, to me, when I saw that, I thought, this just screams, we don't really know what we're trying to offer our subscribers. Because unless, no, I didn't read, you said there's a screenshot. Unless there is, are there a bunch of quotes from Ryan Grubb in there?
That's what I was going to say.
Are there a bunch of Kalen DeBoer quotes?
Maybe 100 words.
So it's a press release, and that's fine. But the press release, like what used to happen, that press release used to go to a send all.
Now maybe it was updated. The bottom does say this story will be updated.
Sure,
so maybe things have been added, but. You continue because I'll go on.
I just think that this just screams to me. We don't know
Yes.
how to get people to subscribe to us, so we're going to hide the real. Like, we're going to put the real news behind.
We're going to trick people into subscribing.
Yes,
I mean that's what they tried to do here.
and like, look, get me in an honest moment. Get me in an honest moment, and I'll say I like Alabama. I'll say that I want them to succeed. Yeah. I do. I want all of the players in every sport to make boat tons of money and have lots of opportunities. And but there's just something seriously missing as far as the. I just don't grasp it. I just don't, and I want to grasp it. I really. I would love to be the biggest Alabama cheerleader on the face of the internet, but I'm just like I can't grasp it. And so you put this news out, great. Ryan Grubb gets hired behind the paywall, and boom, boom, boom. All the beat writers aggregate it because it's just like a press release. And so, what did you actually like? You didn't do anything.
Yeah, what would have been perfect here? I don't even have a problem putting this information on Alabama.
No.
Just release it for free. Alabama hiring Ryan Grubb. He was with the Seahawks for a year. He spent this time with Kalen DeBoer. If you want to read more, click here for an exclusive interview with Ryan Grubb.
Boom!
It's so simple.
That's perfect. I mean, God. Just put the day. It's perfect.
That's the least amount of work. You talk to him for 10 minutes, and you don't even have to write it up. Just record a video.
Exactly. Hey, coach, you just got hired. How'd you feel? I feel great. Hey, coach, what made you come to this decision? Oh, well, my relationship with Coach DeBoer, and it's a 4-minute video, and that's behind the paywall that, if the other people are aggregating it, then we aggregate Alabama, according to Ryan Grubb tells Alabama that he's excited to whatever. Hey, and maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I am out of touch, and I will own that because not always seeing everything, not always seeing the forest of the tree. But I just don't see how putting this news behind the paywall was beneficial to gain more subscribers at all.
I mean, I don't like all of the new world we live in where everything has a subscription model behind it. It's annoying, sure. But like ESPN Plus is the perfect model of this, or it's like, we're going to give you all this breaking news. That's your free stuff. Yeah. All of the pertinent, important news that matters is for free. But then, you want a mock draft? Oh, you want so-and-so's analysis of this? All right, you got to pay $5 a month. Like, that's fine. That is why do that, Alabama. The people that work there. What are you doing throughout the day? I mean, what? What does your day-to-day look like? Because
there's a lot that we don't know, and I'm sure of that.
Probably, I hope. I would hope so, because this is just ridiculous. I don't even. What's really frustrating me, and I'm realizing it right now all of a sudden.
Yes.
You had this information, yeah, Alabama. Why did you not put out a completed story? Why did you put out like a half-baked, no, this story will be updated? You were the one that broke it. What did you update it with? What else came out? You had this. You broke this news. This is insane.
Because that's my strategy when I'm following someone.
Yes.
Billy signed with Alabama. One paragraph. This will be updated.
You broke this news.
And I want it to be successful. Like, I'm sure if anyone's hearing this, like, he's the biggest hater in the world. And I'm sure that if they've listened to this show consistently, they'll probably think that.
Sure.
But I really want it to be successful.
I just want it to be a good product.
Right. Because you hear all this, well, Alabama doesn't have the NIL like anybody else. And they talk about big-time boosters. And I know you don't have the same number of big-time boosters. You'd have some. You'd have some for sure. Mm-hmm. But you don't have the Phil Knight, whatever. Like, this is an avenue. There's just so much untapped potential to me. There's just so much untapped potential to me.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here. We could do an entire show's worth of content just based off of very quick ideas that Yay Alabama could throw behind a paywall and be extremely successful with. I mean, like, it's just...
If anybody's listening or watching from Yay Alabama, we would love to have this discussion with you.
Partner up.
Absolutely. Because, again, I want to make it very clear.
I want to make it work.
That I want it to do well.
And I want to like Yay Alabama.
Yes.
I want to be in your corner.
Right.
But right now, you're making it really hard to be a fan of yours.
Okay. So, with that being said, we should focus on the actual news. What did happen?
Golly, that started a whole thing. So, yeah.
Ryan Grubb hired. Nick Sheridan reportedly staying.
Demoted.
Yeah, but does that matter anymore?
Do you think his paycheck's changing?
No.
Exactly.
I don't think it changed it at all.
I don't think he cares one bit.
If
being honest, he might even be happy. A little weight off of his shoulders. He doesn't have to deal with Timmy Tideburner from wherever. Oh, Nick Sheridan is the worst play caller I've ever seen in the 60 years I've been watching the Tide.
How many people had their minds changed this weekend when they saw the Senior Bowl? How many people thought, because I had a friend, and I love him, said, how do we win 9 games with this?
And he was playing with an all-star team.
And obviously, like, the scheme's not the same, all that jazz, and it's not the same preparation, all that jazz. But, like, the mechanics were still not good. The accuracy was still not good. Of course, a couple times protection left him out to dry. Sure. I'll give you that. But
I mean, I know you saw the one clip, and it's filmed from the end zone angle, and it's facing the middle.
Never even gets there.
And you see, ball just dies 15 yards before it even gets to the receiver, just like a dead duck. It was, man.
So I don't think it's a big deal that. For Sheridan, from the Sheridan perspective, that Ryan Grubb's getting hired, because to your first point, I don't think the paycheck's changing. Now, I don't know that. I'm sure we can find that out when records get released fairly soon. They get released every semester, is that what it is? Once a year, where they do all the reporting, because it's all public record. I don't think the paycheck's going to change for Nick Sheridan, and I think what happened with the NCAA last summer has allowed this move to happen. And if Scott Huff also gets rehired, hired as an assistant offensive line coach, I think you should thank the NCAA for what they did last summer. They essentially unshackled all the analysts and they said, no more. Now, there is still only 10 on the field in game day, right?
I think that's fine.
On game day. But everybody else can go army up in the booth if they want to. But then practice-wise, everybody's free to go coach them up. Now, it used to be the analysts were supposed to stand off to the side, take their notes, not coach the players. Was that really happening or not? We don't know. We can decide or debate or wonder. But I
imagine that played a lot into why it was changed.
There might have been a theory, Mason Woods. None. There might have been a theory. There might have been a theory that the reason that Nick Saban wasn't letting anyone at practice wasn't because of COVID-19 and worry for his players' safety, but instead didn't want any eyes seeing the analyst coach.
Nick Saban, rehabilitation program.
Right. Now, only a theory. I don't want to make that clear. Only a theory. Don't know that for sure. But now, don't have to worry about it.
Even if it was true, does that change anything, folks? Come on.
Yeah, who cares? It doesn't matter if analysts was saying, "Yeah, Billy, your hips were flipped wrong."
I mean, come on.
You gotta have inside leverage, Billy.
I think even if that were the case, does not change anything.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, you are correct in that.
Go ahead.
That move is directly correlated to Alabama's move yesterday, yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. In hiring Ryan Grubb to join the staff and not getting rid of Nick Sheridan. I don't know what his new title is, what exactly he's going to be, but he doesn't have to go anywhere because you got room for him. I really like that move also. I think it's kind of dumb to have an arbitrary if you're an analyst, you're not allowed to interact with the player. It's just a stupid rule anyway. I do like the limit of coaches on the field for game days.
Sure.
I think that's perfectly valid. Now,
and they can still only send out 10 at a time on recruiting visits, but they can swap them in and out if it's like, hey, this guy's better off going there. Okay. We're leaving you at home this round.
That's fine. Yeah. But I like this change. Just, sure, maybe it's just a bit of the rich getting richer because Alabama has the ability to go out and get more analysts than maybe like a UAB. Or
welcome to college football for the last 40 years.
Precisely. This is nothing new in college football. So, yeah, I like this change. More and more bring as many people on the coaching staff as you want to. I think that's a great method for approaching things is just let's get a bunch of folks in here that know what they're talking about.
So what was it? 12 years between the Ryan Grubb? I mean, it was 2 with Sioux Falls, or was it 6? It was 2 with Sioux Falls. It was 2 with Indiana. I think it was 2 with Fresno State and 2 with Washington, right? So it's eight total years together, I believe, with Kalen DeBoer. If my timelines are right, because I wrote something like that pretty recently. I think that's what it was. 4 different stints of 2 years at a time. It was Sioux Falls, with Indiana, with Fresno State, and with Washington. Mason's double checking me now.
Okay, we got Sioux Falls 07, 09.
Yeah.
Sioux Falls 2010 to 2013. So just a new position there, but same staff. Eastern Michigan.
They weren't together.
Fresno State.
Yes.
1 season or 2 seasons, 2017-18. Actually, he was at Fresno State till 2021 in 3 different roles, and then 2 seasons with Washington and then Seahawks.
Yeah. So
I guess didn't go to Indiana, but Fresno State, Washington, and
Sioux
Falls. A lot of history there. Do you think that the last weeks since, because obviously Ryan Grubb's been fired for a month now, close to it. Do you think this has all just been Kalen like, hey man, look, it's not that bad. Tuscaloosa's nice. We'll get you a night. We'll get you set up somewhere. I know the weather's a little different, but you'll like it. Trust me, you'll learn to love the heat. We got rain too. Now it's really different rain, but we got rain.
I don't know how much I make of the.
I'm intrigued.
I don't know how much I make of the. Oh, he didn't like Tuscaloosa. That's why he spurned us twice. Think about the first time he spurns Alabama.
Spurns.
Right, exactly. in quotes. Thank you. I'm on Coach DeBoer's staff. We've just finished year 1 at Washington, and yeah, I get offered. I think he was offered maybe 2.1. 1.2. It was a lot. I think it was 2.1. And he turned it down. I'm pretty sure Washington matched it. And he stayed there. They got to the national championship game. Then DeBoer comes. Has any of you been married before? I'm sorry. Look, not married now, but I was. Love to. We'll get the man's got a wife and family. And okay, boss moves out across the country, and yeah, I think we're moving across the country too. But then an opportunity for more money comes, in the exact same location where you don't have to go home and say, yeah, honey, we're packing up this 8-bedroom household and we're moving. I don't know what their children's situation is, but I'm sure they have 1 to 3, 1 to 5 children where we're moving all our kids across the country. No, actually, how about we just stay and I just move my office from UW to whatever the facility is with the Seahawks, an hour away, 45 minutes away. Like I don't think it was ever about I don't like Tuscaloosa.
I think my biggest, concern is if the NFL is going to come calling in 9 months again.
They might.
And he'll just bounce. Which, I guess that's why you keep Nick Sheridan around. But then why did we do all this in the first place?
Loyalty. And look, let's not get ahead of ourselves. If you go into the 25 season and the offense clicks and works well, and homeboy goes off to the NFL or goes to take a head coaching job, but you have won an SEC championship, made the college football playoffs, and made a lot of noise, then who the hell cares? Yeah. Like, of course you want continuity, stay, loyalty, rah, rah, rah. But
this is nothing new for Alabama.
Right. The be-all, end-all goal is to perform well on the field. And if that happens in 25 and he dips,
oh well.
Okay. Yeah. It's money well spent to bring him in. I think loyalty. I think honestly, I think Sheridan did a pretty good job this year. And I think that Coach DeBoer did a pretty good job this year as well. But here's the difference. I think that what happened at Washington 2 seasons ago, and really 2 and 3 seasons ago during their time, DeBoer could be CEO while I'm checking in with the offense with Ryan Grubb, and here's some of my ideas. But largely, Ryan Grubb, I got this, baby. You can CEO this. You can CEO the offense, defense, special teams. And, of course, obviously, whatever you want to say about offense, we're going to accept your input. You're the head coach. Okay, flip to this year at Alabama. I don't have this guy that I've been leaning on for 8 to 12 years at different spots. Of course, I have a relationship with Sheridan. But this is Sheridan's second time ever being an offensive coordinator. He was offensive coordinator at Indiana for a year. Second time ever being offensive coordinator. And I've got my boy Jamarcus Shepard. He's got a lot of experience too. But this is more of a conglomeration. Yeah. This is a collaboration from, Kalen DeBoer, I got to build a game plan for the offense. Or Nick Sheridan's got to build. We got all three build parts of this game plan each and every week. And I wonder how much that just bogged everything down. People go, you're not on. Kalen DeBoer's not holding everybody to a standard. He's not. Well, maybe he was worried about what offensive plays you're running.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that the lack of continuity this season from DeBoer to Sheridan maybe was evident at times because, it felt like, okay, maybe DeBoer is having to really have his hands on things.
And that's not saying Sheridan's bad. No. I think it's inexperience.
Yes, it is just they don't have 12 years or 8 years of experience together, whatever it is. I think I accept that as as an explanation for it. And I think Sheridan staying on the staff is evidence of that.
Yeah, I think he's pretty happy with Coach Sheridan's efforts this year, but I think that you bring in Ryan Grubb and it allows Kalen DeBoer to play CEO. And people look, you're seeing a lot of people. It's going to be Alabama's 4th offensive coordinator in 4 years. Yes, that's true. But I want you to understand something. The language from last year to this year, not changed one bit. Not a single verb is changed. Not a single terminology is being changed from Nick Sheridan's offense to Ryan Grubb's offense. It's Kalen DeBoer's system that Nick Sheridan was babysitting. Nick Sheridan was cultivating. And now it's Kalen DeBoer's offense that Ryan Grubb and Nick Sheridan will cultivate. It's not these quarterbacks are not going to have to change concepts. These quarterbacks are not going to have to change where their eyes are going, who's doing protections, who's responsible for what. It's not going to be a massive change. I think it's going to be more of a polishing than a change.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic about what this offense can look like. Just given that, obviously the talent level is there. We know about the receiving core, know about the players they brought in the transfer portal, know about the running backs. Quarterback is a question mark, but I feel confident that between any of the 3 back there, one of them is going to be a really good option.
That does trigger me out to, why is he coming? Oh, how's our boy Austin doing? How'd Austin do this last year?
Oh, he
Cooking.
looks great.
How'd Austin bake this year? Is he's still marinating? How'd the marinade seep into his system? Is it taking hold? Is he getting that flavor? Oh, I look.
A lot of folks are going to learn that name this year.
To me, it's just another. And maybe you guys are listening and watching, and you think, Joe, you're crazy and you're biased, and you're just reading your own tea leaves to make you to confirm your own biases. Sure. But another piece of evidence why I think Austin Mack is going to be the one to watch is going to. But I said Ty Simpson. I think, yeah, I think it's going to be Mr. 6'10" or whatever he is. He's
He looks about
8'12".
Yeah, no, I'm very excited about what this offense can look like with hopefully more consistent quarterback play.
All right, before we finish on the coaching, before we finish on the coaching stuff, will Scott Huff be added to this All-Star list?
I think so. I don't think that we see necessarily a demotion for Chris Kapilovic or anything. I think we maybe see Scott Huff brought in as the analyst assistant role because I think the offensive line struggled last year at times, but I don't think that it was really like a scheme thing ever. I think it was he dealt with some injuries, some inconsistency, some continuity issues with guys playing different positions at times. And I don't know. I mean, Kapilovic's been recruiting his butt off, so I think that's extremely valuable as well. And I don't think you want to lose that. But yeah, no, I would say I would lean towards yes that Scott Huff will join this staff in some capacity, getting the gang back together.
Let us know in the comments if you want Scott Huff to come back to Alabama. Let us to rejoin this staff. Let us know what you think of the Ryan Grubb hire. Are you excited? Did you want Nick Sheridan to have one more year in charge of the offense, or do you think this was the right move to make? You can always comment on the show. Leave us your comments on Yay Alabama. Are you subscribed at Joe Gaither 6? Right there, or at Bama Central, wherever you find the show, right there below in the comments section.
I would love to talk to someone that is subscribed on the show, so like they can just tell us what they're getting out of it, because I truly don't know.
You pay now. This is old information, but my perception was you pay the $15 a month. They send you a small package of goodies, and you have access to the website when they put things on there. And you also have access to the online store, which is like bonus gear. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's more to it. Absolutely. Oh, and you have first dibs at like special events. You have first dibs at autograph events and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're scrolling through the Twitter. It looks like they did a tailgate event for the Georgia basketball game. It looks like they had a decent show out. It looks like they had some football players there to mingle with the folks. So that's a neat thing, I guess. They did post a 3.5-minute video a couple weeks ago of here's what you need to know. So maybe they've got some things on the horizon for Yale. Maybe 2025 they're gonna
keep cooking, baby.
Really start pumping some things out. I would like to see that.
Keep cooking, because I think
I want to be your friend.
Right, and I think it can really work. Yes. Because here's the deal. From a media perspective, and this is not a complaint, this is just what it is. It's often very tough to get access, and that's fine. It's no problem. They're protective of who comes in the building. I understand that. That's not a complaint. But Yay Alabama does not have that problem. Mm-hmm. And so, because they don't have that, I don't know if we trust you. I don't know if we like you. I don't know if you've worked up enough equity, whatever the case may be.
Sure.
Yeah, dude, you can go. If I were Yay Alabama, here's your second little tidbit. Freebie. First one, go follow Keelan Russell around for a day and make a video out of that. A day in the life of Keelan Russell. 250 words, bam, slap the 6-minute video up there. Okay. But in a couple of weeks before spring practice, I would do a daggum profile on all three quarterbacks. Why are you going to win this job? Let them talk their talk. Sure. None of them would say anything that wild.
I think Keelan Russell would be the only one that would maybe have anything even remotely interesting to say.
Right. But I would definitely want to read why Ty Simpson thinks he's going to win the job, why Austin Mack thinks he's going to win the job, why Keelan, and boom, I think that article would go crazy.
I would
I would love to write that article. Look,
Sure.
Alex Thompson, if you're watching, Alabama Football SID, I love you very much. You've been always very kind to me, absolutely. If that's a possibility, I'd love to chase that. Why don't I chase those very much? Because I don't think those are possibilities for me quite yet. And maybe that's my own perception, maybe, perhaps. But, like, there's just so much you can do here.
It really, I mean, you see the types of reactions that you get from just like the Alabama faithful when insert player Terry and Arnold, whoever it was, posts like a TikTok or something. It gets retweeted to death. They're all saying, "Oh, how funny!" Like, you could just do stuff like that. Even it is. I mean, it doesn't even have to be super difficult. Just insider content, actual access to what the players are doing, things, little locker room clips. You know, I don't know. Get them to play Uno or something. Play a game on camera. Like, just let us see some personality a little bit. It does not have to be anything super intense, and I guarantee you, a lot of people would be very interested in watching it.
Absolutely. So we will keep going as the month continues, watching what happens in Alabama basketball, watching to see if Caleb DeBoer rehires Scott. Would that be a rehire? I mean, he was hired, right?
So,
for like 2 weeks or so.
I guess it would be a rehire. I wonder if was a paperwork signed or anything? Or was it all just he's in town?
You get prorated for 2 weeks for 2 weeks worth of a job.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll find out what happens. Obviously, spring practice coming up soon, and
can't wait for the overreactions from the A-Day game. My favorite part of the year.
All right, before we hit the Royal Rumble, I want to ask: is there anything Alabama-y that I have left off from today? Let me check my note here because I did take a couple notes, didn't I? Season tickets.
Yes, of course. How did we forget this? I think it's maybe a little bit of making a mountain out of a molehill.
If you haven't seen what's going on through the online sphere, if you're not a member of the Tide Pride or if you're not a season ticket holder, that is A-okay. I am not a season ticket holder, neither is Mason Woods, but many season ticket holders are having their season ticket packages revoked. And if you're a member of several Alabama Facebook groups, you're seeing comments, rah, 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 they're turning their back on me. Loyalty, after 20 years of buying tickets, they're turning their back on me. And, we're getting mad at the university. The university doesn't care about me no more. Mason Woods, I got some tough news. They never did. They never did care about you.
Never will.
I'm sorry. Like, we all love the Tide and want to say Roll Tide. It's supporting the team is great, and being in Coleman and being in Bryant Stadium is great. But you know what they care about? Ching, 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 ching. Dollar, baby. So what's happening here? You're seeing a lot of people, they reached out, they revoked my package. And people are, why? Why would they do that? Apparently, they are going through and they're cracking down on people who are selling their tickets.
Good.
And you may be selling your tickets to Alabama fans. You may be selling your tickets to StubHub, to anyone, or to just giving them to your next door neighbor, Jim. It's fine. People think, I bought the tickets. I can do whatever I want with them. Yes.
Sure. Well, you can also have your access to buying them revoked.
Yes. Exactly.
It goes both ways, buddy.
I have a friend. Oh, my gosh. No, I don't have a friend. He won't mind me saying this. Derek Bleepin' Daniel. Derek Daniel, right upstairs, bought Atlanta Braves season tickets for the last handful of years. And this past year was like, we're not going enough. You want to go to the games? Great. And middle of the year comes to me and says, man, they emailed me, told me that I got to stop selling tickets. So I just really need to start giving these away or going, because apparently they have like a little portal system that they can just.
I imagine that's kind of a similar way that Alabama.
It's exactly what Alabama has, because whenever I'm not covering a game and somebody says, "Oh, Joe, you want to go with me?" or "Oh, Joe, you want to go?" or "Do you need a ticket?" or something. And look, I am so thankful for those people that do that. You are the best. But what happens is I have to log into my UA little online thing, and they have to log into theirs, and it boop, 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 goes through the system, and I don't think they get any penalty points. And, I swipe my QR code, and they get, hey, your ticket was used. Great. This is very simple. You bought the tickets, yeah. It's your prerogative to do whatever you want to with them. But it's also UA's prerogative to do whatever they want to with selling them to whoever they want to. And people are talking about, oh, I had 20 years of loyalty. Okay, guess what? There are people that have been on this wait list for how many? Like, they're like, oh, you're going to lose so much money. They're not going to lose a dime because you know who? You lost your season ticket privileges. That's really terrible, Charlie. That's sad. I'm sorry for you. But you know what? Billy, Jimmy, and Steven all want your tickets, and they all already bought your tickets through the university. Like, they ain't losing anything.
And also, the university is not in the business of revoking season tickets for people that are there every Saturday loving the Crimson Tide.
Exactly.
Like, if you got your tickets revoked, it was for a reason. It's because you haven't shown up on Saturdays. It's because you've been selling your tickets. You've been giving away your tickets. If you're not going to go, don't buy them. Like, what, you just want to like hoard tickets so no one else can have my season tickets? I will have them. No one else can go see the Tide. Like, what are we doing, people?
They're talking about,
it's a damn football game.
I've been sitting in the same section for 20 years with the same people. Oh, and you probably only show up for the Auburn and Tennessee game, and you sell Western Kentucky, and you sell Vanderbilt, and you give away
bingo.
You give away whoever, Western Tech University.
If you're going to buy season tickets, be there for the season. I think you should. What's the cutoff? If you buy season tickets, you got to go to
6.
I was going to say 5. Yeah, 6. I think 5, 6. That's fair.
It's an 8-game home schedule.
Fair.
It's usually an 8-game home schedule, right?
Mm-hmm. That's more than fair.
Maybe it's a 7-game home schedule, depending on the season. But yeah, 5, 6. I mean, if you want to miss out on the Western Tech Little School Sisters of the Poor,
that's okay.
I get you. But you better be at every SEC game or any non-conference game that. And look, that's the other. We danced around it, but like, there are methods to give your tickets away properly.
Yeah.
And like, I understand if you want to sell them. That's what Venmo's for. That's what Cash App is for. You say, hey man, I'm gonna send you my season tickets through Roll Tide. You got to go to this link to get them and make your own Roll Tide account, but make sure you Venmo me. Like, the problem is, yes, it's an extra step, but they're like, oh, I'd just rather stick them on StubHub or stick them on Ticketmaster or whatever the case may be. Like, there is you didn't read the procedures here, buddy. You didn't read like the fine print when you signed up for it, for your donations, and people are mad, but they're mad.
You have no one to blame but yourself.
Yes. I'm laughing at all those messages I see. I've been seeing them on Alabama Facebook groups all over. I'm laughing at you.
I have zero sympathy.
Greg Byrne is turning his back on. Dude, Greg Byrne has one obligation, and that is to the University of Alabama, and really, it's finance, to make sure that the athletic department is running well. People, that was the other thing that they announced. The 10% sales tax.
Oh yeah.
They pushed that on the consumer now for the next year, and you're pricing us out. They're not pricing anyone out. They might price you out, sure, and I understand that, and that stinks. It's not fun to be priced out, but you know what? You want some tough luck? Go make more money.
Yeah, man.
Sorry. Like that's
like I don't get. I want to go to games too. It sucks.
Right. The pricing, man. If you can't afford it, dude, do not sacrifice. Don't sacrifice your rent to go to these games. I get that, but like, this is just. I think people just don't understand the way that college athletics are going, and I don't know that they understand. When they criticize Greg Byrne for this money decision or that money decision, I don't know him well. I've spoken to him a couple of times, always nice, but I think he agonizes over these decisions, money decisions. I think that he really wants to make a great experience for the student athletes and as good of an experience for the fans as well. Mm-hmm. But that is such a difficult balance, such a challenging balance.
At the end of the day, you said just a minute, like, the fans aren't his responsibility. That is all extra that he puts on himself. He has no obligation to Jimmy, Bob, and Joe that sit in row 15 and have been there since 1967 and watch the bear. Like, he don't know you, man. He don't know your name. He don't know what you look like. He's never heard you. He knows that if he revokes your tickets because you sold 6 of them last year, there's 15,000 other people waiting to get them.
I think that's the concept they're missing, because a lot of these posts get, well, they're losing my loyalty and I'll never come back, and they're going to go under.
Darn.
They're going to go under.
Like, that's the same as, I'm going to boycott Nike. Okay. No, I don't think they're going to miss you, buddy.
It's a tough decision, I'm sure, but like the army of people waiting to fill your seat is vast. All right, that was a fun
If
Monday.
you have season tickets, go to the damn game. And if you don't get angry when they take your season tickets from you.
All right, you ready to get off the rails for real?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, if you've watched this whole time, I appreciate you so much. We've had a lot of fun talking Alabama Athletic. But look, Saturday was about one thing. It was about one thing, and it was the Royal Rumble.
30-man term.
Oh,
One man leaves disappointingly.
my heart is like still in such a state. And like, look, you want to know why I love wrestling? Because they make you feel something every time.
I am fully bought in after this weekend.
Yes.
I told I'm watching Raw tonight. I told her, I was like, I will watch it.
Yes.
It was so much fun. It was such a good time watching it. But man, yes, my heart aches for the ending of that, for the result of that awesome event.
The reason why it's special is because every single Monday, Friday special, pay-per-view, you feel something. Whether it's, oh my gosh, my guy won, or whether it's, what the bleep did that just happen, or holy smokes, those guys just killed each other, or even the women's match was so hilarious.
Good. Yes,
like. It just makes you feel. And so for someone who might struggle with a little bit of depression from time to time, I love wrestling because it just takes me back to, like, look, when I was at Monday Night Raw last Monday, Seth Rollins opens the show, and his theme music, whoa, whoa. Okay, great. And if you didn't know it, now you do. Well, I'm zooming out as he's coming in, and these 2 4-year-old boys, little kids, are just losing their mind. Yeah. And to me, it's just like, makes me feel like that. Okay, so Saturday was insane.
It was very fun.
We wanted to start just the women's tag ladder, then the fin. Okay, the women's match. We told you on Friday Charlotte Flair was gonna win. She wins.
Yeah, a little bit. As someone who didn't really know any of the storylines going in, I was kind of like, oh, that's lame. It's a little lame.
Yeah, she's like the Hall of Famer that's taken a year off, that's come back and I can still beat all y'all.
I get it.
And when she was introduced,
that storyline would have been better reserved for the men's fight.
Yes, John Cena. The thing I love about the Royal Rumble is just when Alexa Bliss came out, the returns, the people that you haven't seen in forever. You get Alexa Bliss, who hasn't been on TV in 3 years, and she's really intertwined with one of the wrestlers who died, Bray Wyatt, and she's coming out wearing Bray Wyatt gear, and she puts on a dadgum show and gets eliminated by a favorite of mine, Liv Morgan. And what's that going to do? Well, we about to be in for a year of Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan, and put that bleep on my TV every single week. I'm there. You have, Chelsea Green, the love of my life, the United States champion, just hilarious. The entire,
very, very funny.
All the African American women are in the middle of the ring, and they're all like, sort of doing a little like, "Oh, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool. We're all about to team up." Chelsea walks right through a Caucasian Canadian woman, and it's like, "I'm cool too. We're all girlfriends, and it just gets turned on her."
So funny.
Oh my gosh! You have Jordan Grace, the chick from TNA, who's come in, who want to speculate how heavy Piper Niven is because that's not appropriate for a lady. Piper Niven is a large woman.
That woman, you don't want to face her in an Oklahoma drill.
No, yeah, that is that. I'm sorry. And this girl, she plops her up on her and just flips her over. Oh my! I lost my mind when that happened.
Yeah,
Maxine Dupree. Oh, my girl. Look, people probably saw my timelines like, oh, you only like her because she's pretty. Of course she's pretty. But the story of Maxine is, I don't know how to wrestle. I stink. I'm just a manager. The last year and a half, she's been, I'm training. And then runs out and wrecks shop for 2.5 minutes. And then obviously gets kind of beat up because that's just what it is. But the 2.5 minutes where she wrecks shop is like, look at all the things I've learned. It's just
good times.
Makes you feel something.
There were, probably at least 3, 4, 5 moments throughout the women's fight, just specifically where like I was almost like in pain from laughter. There were so many good, just comedic moments. So many. Oh man, really, really fun.
Nia Jax gets in there. That was the one bad part to me is they had all those ladies on the other side, and Nia Jax kind of eliminated all of them with kind of a lame elimination. But look, she's a big boss lady, and that makes perfect sense. It was a great event.
It really was.
You have Sonya Perez. Was that who in there?
Yeah, Nikki Bella came back. That was cool. I remember her from when I was a kid.
Nikki Bella.
Remember her very fondly.
Wasn't Nikki Bella married to John Cena? Wasn't that for a minute?
So. I believe so. I think Melissa actually was telling
Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez became the new Iron Woman of SmackDown of the Royal Rumble. She passed Bianca Belair's most time in a single Royal Rumble. I think she entered at 3 and was one of the last ones to be in there.
Whoever entered at 1 made it for a while too. I was very impressed.
Io Sky.
I was super impressed because look, we have talked like I'm not dumb. I know that this is
it's a scripted event.
But to deny the athletic ability, the stamina involved with all of these things, the Rumbles last for an hour, if not longer.
Well, each one of them was about an hour and a half.
Yeah, so that's a long time to be sitting in there bouncing around a ring, flipping people over, taking bumps. Like there is a lot that goes into it. And it's very, very fun to watch, very impressive to watch. And yeah, so many of them were like, how are they doing this?
Tonight on Raw, Io Sky and Liv Morgan, 1 versus 2, will go 1-on-1 in an Elimination Chamber qualifier match. So that's going to be same for CM Punk and Sami Zayn. That's going to be on your docket tonight on Netflix. Okay, so the women's match was really, really just a fun time. Great. Trish Stratus was my childhood. She enters at number 25 to celebrate her 25 years in WWE. Great job, Trish. We love you. All right, so Charlotte wins. She's very much going to challenge Tiffany Stratton. You're going to have the two most prominent blondes in the business kind of going up against each other, and it's going to be very much a big Barbie versus Barbie match at WrestleMania. Great. You move into the tag match, 2 out of 3 falls, and as Mason said, we know it's scripted. We know it's a story. I don't like 2 out of 3 falls matches only because we know one side's going to win one side's going to win the other, but the first 2 falls don't really matter. It's all about that third fall. It's all about the third pin. Okay, one side gets the pin, the other side gets the other pin. It was super fun, though, to see the Street Profits come out and attack the Motor City Machine Guns because I
had no idea what was happening.
I was losing my mind. Go ahead.
I was just like, well, who are these? I was so confused. I'm sitting there scrolling through Twitter trying to read who are they? It was fun, but man, it was that, and that's why I think I'm going to start watching because I got to need to know a little bit of these storylines. But when I was like glued to the TV, but I was just like, what is happening?
The Street Profits come out. They have been screwed over a couple times for tag team championships. And in my opinion, they are great performers. You need to put the belts on them ASAP. And I think it was kind of a fake injury that they were nursing or whatever. One guy's on crutches. He comes out and just beats the mess out of them.
Oh, my God. Throwing some hits with that crutch.
Oh, and so DIY wins, but now we're going to set up a DIY versus Street Profits kind of a
That'll
new
be fun.
story. We love that. And then from there, the card just went to level 12.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes is a madman, and Kevin Owens is even crazier. If you do not watch it, if you like human car crashes, like I don't know how many Hunter lives with me, Hunter Cyber lives with me. I don't know how many times I hollered out during that match, but I thought that they killed each other. You have the first spot on the floor in the 20-foot ladder where Cody Rhodes goes through the safety part of the ladder, breaks the ladder. Okay, that's a pretty thin piece of metal. Okay, but it's still metal. And he breaks off the piece of metal and just starts smashing him. And it's just like, oi! You have Rhodes went through another ladder on a fisherman suplex. Just love of the game. Just put me through. Oh! They had that small ladder that they were just beating each other with. They go through the crowd. They go into the crowd, all just. But I thought the end spot, I thought he killed him. I thought Kevin Owens died.
It was bad. Yeah, it was. There was. And that was one of those ones where like you get that real second of like, oh, like did I just see that? And then he moves a little bit and like, okay, we're all having a good time. But he really had that genuine like a heart sank for a second and thought, oh, did I really just watch somebody get really, really badly injured?
There was a spot before that though where they kind of all stopped and paused. Was it Kevin that had some? But Sami Zayn jumps in there, checking on Kevin, and all. It was incredible. It was. And then for Kevin, at the end of the match, Cody Rhodes, Alabama slams him through the ladder. And as I just said it. I thought Kevin Owens for a half second. I was like, is he dead? And of course he's acting. He's laying there. What really triggered me that he was okay is they didn't roll him back over quickly. Like he was kind of folded up in that like fold.
Yeah.
Like if he was actually hurt, I think they get him. I think they get him out of that.
Straighten him up.
Yes,
get him on the board.
Exactly. Yeah. He was just like folded like a lawn chair, and he just like stayed there for like 5-6 minutes. And I'm like, I think if he really broke his neck, they'd unfold him and get the stretcher out. And but he's bleeding all over the place, and Cody Rhodes gets both the belts up. And if you've been watching for a second, they're setting up Cody Rhodes to go bad guy.
That feels good. That feels like it'd be good.
He's Homelander, a little bit of Codelander. We're gonna see Cody Rhodes, bad guy. I think he enjoyed. I mean, acting. I think he exuded. Oh, I enjoyed hurting him.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, what'd you? I just took over.
No,
I just took over.
It was just. I mean, that was. I had very similar reaction. It was just like, holy, these dudes are beating the hell out of each other. And again, I know but like the hits they're taking hits. It is scripted, the outcome and like what they're going to do in that ring. But a lot of these, the bumps that they take are very real. They are jumping off of these ladders into other ladders and going through those ladders and falling to the concrete floor that is only probably very thinly padded. They're going through these announcers' tables and getting hit with these monitors and things like. So a lot of the stuff is still very real. And yeah, no, those dudes both like warriors. Both of them took an absolute beating. It, sent me this whole weekend. I was just on a YouTube rabbit hole of watching, all kinds, and it sent me down a rabbit hole of watching Mankind fights. And like on that vibe of just, I'm going to sacrifice my body for pure entertainment. Like just put it all on the line.
Again, that's why I like it. It makes me feel something. And so you come out in the match, Kevin Owens is all, and Cody Rhodes, you mother. I'm sitting there as they're doing the entrance, and it's a wrestling trope. Somebody's going to walk under the ladder and tease I'm not and Cody does it, and I lost my mind. I was just like, you shouldn't have done that. You're gonna lose now. It's like it just makes me. It takes me out of my brain and just puts me all in my feelings of and look, it was car crash city right during that ladder match.
Yeah, very entertaining. Good stuff.
So we'll see what happens next with Cody Rhodes. Obviously, he's not going to be challenged by Jey Uso, who won the Royal Rumble. Jey Uso is going to be challenging Gunther.
Another guy, I don't know who he is. Kept hearing that name. I was like, who's this Gunther guy?
He's the greatest in-ring wrestler there is. And that is the reason I'm so angry. I don't mind Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. It's fine. Super popular, great, very popular.
Okay.
Very, very, like, sells the most T-shirts. When I was in the building last Monday, the place went insane for him.
So the reaction to the Jey Uso that I saw was a lot of people being like, this lame, he's so boring. And it's like, that was a little overreaction then. Like,
no, he is. The term for Jey Uso is, and then the bell rings.
Okay.
So he's an entrance merchant. Everybody freaks out for his entrance, but the man has about 4 moves. He has a bad super kick. He has a bad spear. He has an okay frog splash. And we don't do many other moves. We're going to hit you.
I can't think of really anything that he did in that fight until the very end.
Right. He super kicked John Cena off the apron. And that's the Uso super kick.
It was a very, very lame finish too. It was just like get off, buddy.
And so that's the only reason I'm upset, because he's going to end up going to WrestleMania and he's going to challenge Gunther. And at this point, he's lost like 3 or 4 in a row to Gunther. At this point, it's very much set up. Oh, redemption story. Finally wins one. Big moment. He's going to win. And okay, when he wins, the place in Las Vegas will lose their dadgum mind because he is that popular. And he's fun. Like, to me, it is fun. But here's where you lose me. In the ring, Gunther, 6'4", 6'5", 280 pounds. Yeah. He knows the power bomb. He knows literally every single match that he wrestles is like, man, what moves you want me to do this time? I will do them. And you can't get one over on me in the ring, because in the ring, he knows. Now, he's not very good on the mic. I understand that. And he's a big old white German guy. So people just think Austrian, and people just think, oh, Nazi, boo, But like, as far as wrestler, he is the best wrestler in the company, period. The single best wrestler in the company. He can do every single move. He will sell every single move. He can scoop slam. He can power bomb. He knows the sleeper hold. He's the best technical wrestler. So that's why I was so upset. It's like, in a couple months, you're going to have this guy who has 2 moves beat the guy who has every single move in the book, and that's going to break my brain as far as the story. And I can be easily suspension of belief here. But this one's a little hard.
Yeah.
So that's why I was upset. But other than that,
I can see the age in John Cena a little bit. Through no fault of his own.
John Cena sucks.
Yeah, you can definitely see it a little bit.
Yeah, I love the second.
I hate that it's that I didn't even realize, but his finisher is the AA now.
Attitude adjustment,
Ew,
yeah.
No.
Because it used to be the FU.
The FU was awesome. Attitude adjustment is so lame. I know he became the face of the PG, for the kids.
You gotta clean it up.
No, the FU was awesome.
He was hammering it up.
It was great seeing him. And the crowd loved him.
He gets in there and you hear the let's go Cena sucks, and he catches it and he goes and he's like playing back into it. Let's go Cena sucks. Like, it was amazing. It was an amazing Royal Rumble, except for and look, Jey Uso winning it makes it, people are being so upset. Take a step back. We're talking about it on Monday, and my emotions are still at level 8, 9, 10. That's why it was good. It was a great event. Like, did I want CM Punk to win? Sure, because don't want it to be right on my prediction. I wanted Drew McIntyre to win, and the Drew McIntyre situation has turned into. And
I don't know. He seems cool though. That's about all I know.
Perfect. Break the fourth wall a little bit. He gets eliminated, and boom, the internet starts going crazy. Drew McIntyre leaves arena angry. Drew McIntyre mad at Superstar. Drew McIntyre says, and so you go back and look at it, that gum Logan Paul ruined his elimination. He's supposed to be eliminated, so that was on track, but every elimination spot at the Royal Rumble is supposed to be a moment. It's supposed to be, so-and-so now, and so-and-so's out, and oh my gosh. Well, they all have a big old conglomerate collision, and it becomes a messy moment, and he gets jumped out of the ring. And with so many guys in the ring, it's going to be that hard. but I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan, and I hope he kills Logan Paul. I hope he
That was
legitimately
my
kills him.
least favorite part of the evening was that we get to 30 and it's like, and I went in not really knowing anything that was going on. So after Friday's show, I'm looking on TikTok, watching wrestling things, and my feed is just flooded with the Hardy Boys videos, and all these people saying he's coming. And I had built it up in my head like I know it'd be crazy because I know a little bit of that backstory. Like there's no way they'll bring it, but
I wanted Jeff Hardy so bad.
Surely they're gonna do it. And we get to 30, and it's damn Logan Paul. And I just wanted so bad to see you. Oh man, see it.
That would have been great.
Swanton bomb. Oh.
The Hardys were at a convention in Indianapolis, and these jokers were supposed to cut off their convention at 3:30, and they stayed until 8 o'clock because the line was that long.
Those are awesome.
Awesome, and just loyalty to the fans. At 15, they bring Joe Hendry out, so that would have been the Jeff Hardy probably spot. Joe Hendry, the TNA champion, is kind of like an internet sensation right now, and it drops.
I like the music.
Dude,
it cracks me up.
Say his name, and he appears.
It gives me, and I don't know why, but in the back of my head,
Joe
I get
Hendry.
the same vibe of like the Shawn Michaels. Like he knows he's sexy.
Yes, Joe Hendry is destined to be a WWE star once he gets out of TNA.
It seems like he's got a very good shtick.
He's great. You had Braun Breaker kill Ice Show Speed, literally murder him.
I was laughing so ridiculously hard when that happened, and Melissa, my lovely wife, was sitting beside me, and I don't think I think she like had seen Ice Show Speed maybe on the internet, but didn't really know what he was, what he did, and I'm like gut laughing, crying because like. He's just some guy.
He might be, 150 pounds?
Yes, just some dude that streams.
He seems cool.
Yeah. But,
Ice Show Speed, come on the show. Tell us about it.
He's not any kind of like former professional athlete or anything. Like he's just some kid that plays video games on the internet. He is very athletic, like a super, freakish athletic. But like he's just a dude. And he took the worst bump of almost anybody on the night, I thought. That horrific spear slammed into the mat. And then I don't even know who it was that picked him up and threw him out of
the guy, Braun Breaker. Yeah, he threw him out to Otis, and Otis throws him over the table.
Announcer's table flops, and I'm sure he was.
They got golf carted out of there.
Yeah, he was hamming it up a little bit, but like he felt it. He felt that
golf carted out of there.
It was. Oh yeah, that was the funniest moment for sure for me.
The spear, hilarious. I thought, because you can play up a spear and you can kind of like. Fall in and lean down and like you can control that. But he threw it out and Otis catches him nicely. Otis, great job. But Otis just threw his ass over his shoulder.
Not a graceful throw whatsoever.
Just eat.
It's like he didn't realize how light he was going to be when he went to throw him, and then he did. He was like, oh.
And I thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, he ragdolled it. I mean, that was so funny.
Oh yeah. You had.
I got to see Rey Mysterio. I was happy about that.
619. Oh, did you notice the botch at the very beginning between Mysterio and Penta? He threw Penta out, and Penta both feet touched.
Yes, I did see that.
And they just, I don't think both feet touched. I don't know.
You saw the cameraman really quickly drag it back up. Yeah, no, I did. Notice.
I thought, oh, you messed that one up.
Penta was cool though. He was pretty sweet. That was the first time I'd seen him. I like him.
He's a new signee.
Yeah, he seems really cool. I'm excited to see where that storyline maybe goes.
He was signed at the start of the year from AEW, and they have just pushed him up the ladder
he seems
already.
Pretty sweet. Yeah, him and Rey Mysterio got some good stuff going in there. I told you to think before this. There was a little second where I thought Rey Mysterio had died in there. Somebody hit him with a pile driver, I think, or whatever it was, and it really looked like he just got dropped right on the crown of his head. And immediately arms go up, and it's like, oh. But he's popped back up a minute or so later after laying there, so he was fine. It was, I was disappointed he didn't win. I didn't think he was going to, but that was my guy. I would like to see him maybe kick around a little longer.
The last thing that really stood out to me was the juice and interaction with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that was funny. I liked that.
I
didn't really follow it, but I enjoyed it.
Okay, so when they first get into WWE, they're in a little team called the Shield. It's Seth Rollins, it's Roman Reigns,
I
and
heard them saying that.
and it's a guy named John Moxley. His name in WWE was Dean Ambrose, but now he goes by John Moxley for AEW. So he's not with their company anymore. So there's a team of three, and these three guys were just wrecking shop in 09, 11, 12, just like we're the best in the company. And then they even have a night where all three Shield members win the World Championship in the same night because of just different circumstances. Okay. They were that hot. They were that big. And then Seth Rollins betrayed Roman Reigns in Indianapolis, the same city. Indianapolis. Okay. The Shield breaks up. The Shield breaks up because Seth Rollins decides, I want to go my own way, and basically smack the bleep out of Roman Reigns with a chair. This is like 2013, 14. So this is 10 years ago. And you have just animosity. You've been teasing more animosity between the two over the last couple of years. And God, they meet in the middle of that road, and Rollins says, you ain't getting another WrestleMania main event. You ain't getting another title. It all ends right. And they just started. I think they might have messed up the stomp because they get thrown out. They all get thrown out. And Seth Rollins, the stomp is like one of his moves. So like that's
I do love that move. That's a great move.
Oh, it's great. But he two-footed stomped him on the back of the head, and I thought, oh my God, he just broke his skull.
He like hopscotched him on the back of his head.
The heat, the hatred in that moment, I was glued to the TV. Now I thought, one, how the hell did all these? Because at that moment you had just lost Reigns, you had just lost Punk, and you had just lost Rollins, all in a second, like in 2 seconds. And I was like, what in the world? Who's still in it? And then they're all just fighting on the apron. That's gonna be a WrestleMania match that's a main eventer. You don't need a title. Those two guys hate each other so deeply. There was a camera shot in the middle where Seth Rollins is there, and you saw Roman Reigns behind him, just like, I'm gonna get you. I cannot wait for it.
Yeah.
So largely they did great setting up WrestleMania. To me, of course, I am what they would say a mark, so I cheer for everything. Really, I just enjoy it. Sure, did I want somebody else to win other than Jey Uso? Sure. But the story goes on tonight, and it goes on Friday. Whatever you don't like is going to get changed. Yeah. Whatever you don't like is going to develop further, and whoop-de-freaking-do, it's just a TV show.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I had a really good time. It, got me enough to where I want to watch WrestleMania when it happens. I'd like to, I will be tuning in throughout on some Mondays and Fridays to try to keep up with the storyline at least a little bit, because it was a very, very enjoyable Saturday watching that.
John Cena comes out to the post-match press conference. They do a little post-match press conference after big events, and he says, "I won't be taking any questions," and basically leaves a 4-minute statement saying, "I've never used my power in WWE for positions before. I didn't do it tonight." Because people thought he's going to edge his way into winning. And he says, but I've always done what's best for business. And he says, it dawned on me tonight after I realized that this was my final Royal Rumble. I had a really emotional moment. It dawned on me that next month is my final Elimination Chamber. And the next month after that is my final WrestleMania. He goes, and what's best for business is if I win the Elimination Chamber and main event WrestleMania and win my 17th championship. And he walks off, and it's like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be good. Send John Cena out on a positive note. He deserves it.
Well, he absolutely needs to win 17. The record is 16 championships. Ric Flair has 16. I think Randy Orton has 15. And John Cena has 16. And look, we all love you, Ric Flair, but that record should belong to John Cena. I'm not really a John Cena, that's my number one, but goodness gracious.
You talk about face of the company.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he needs to win 17 before he retires, and doing it at WrestleMania would be great. So go spend $1 million to watch Elimination Chamber in Toronto. I will not. I'll watch it on Peacock at my house, and we'll just see what happens.
It'll be exciting. I'm excited to watch.
If you enjoyed Royal Rumble or if you hated it, you can let us know in the comments as well. We'll get back tomorrow. It's a Bama bye week for basketball. We'll figure out what we're going to do the rest of the week. Talking Bama hoops, talking Alabama football coaching staff, and much, much, much more right here on the Joe Gaither Show. Thanks for the extra time you gave us today. It was a lot of fun. We hope that we entertained you. You always entertain us. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_. Follow me at Joe Gaither6 on the social media machines. And we will get back tomorrow right here on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.